how the word fathom, means, in addition to all the wonderful synonyms, it also is a measure of depth in water. And she then turned the phrase and said, well, that's why we talk about getting to the bottom of something. When you talk about understanding something, you say, I want to get to the bottom of it. And fathom, of course, also means understanding. So she was turning the phrase, and that's why she said, you see what I did there? Okay. You see what she did there with the brothel? That's what she meant. Why am I explaining it for you?
We saw the brothel. Then let's move on.
So why am I explaining it for you?
Parliament and there's a speaker.
One can say.
Okay, Kingdom. You know what? Saying it right doesn't come by chance. No, you need to read the right books early in life. This is why Kingdom Books, your number one stop for books and stationery with over 40 years experience, is offering great discounts on readers and other learning materials to help your kids say it right. Now, these books and learning materials include phonics flashcards, Aesop's fables, and it's Aesop. Not Aesop. Oliver Twist, The Fish That Talked, Emperor and the Nightingale, Growing Up for Girls, Illustrated Classics, Junior Illustrated Grammar, Punctuation, and so much more. Visit any Kingdom Books and Stationery shop to get a good discount on your purchase. For further information and inquiries, just call 050-140-1050, or you could try 0244-311-955. Kingdom Books and Stationery. All right, shall we do the review?
Yes, we shall.
News Review is brought to you by Compu Ghana. Shop at any Compu Ghana branch nationwide and get up to 40% discount and free delivery. Compu Ghana, passion for technology. You were saying.
Yes, let me start off with the chronicle for today, and let's get to Proverbs 12:15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice. And guess the splash. Mr. Wise and Brave, come and meet me. Amidu also dares Mahama. And the question is, why wouldn't Amidu invite Mahama if you have anything against him, and asking him to rather man up and come? Anyway, government secures 170 million euros to open bank, and we have put 76 1D1F in operation. Nana Khomia and Herbert Krapper invigorates OTNPP with 50 motorbikes. NHIS Ghana cards integrated, and back page of the Chronicle. 2021 AFCON qualifiers. Ghana begins camping ahead of Sudan clash, and Partey skips Ghana duty as he awaits thigh injury scan. And Asante Kotoko face Mauritania team in the CAF Champions League preliminary round draw. Inter-chief demands international football boycott amid COVID-19.
On the front page of the Daily Statesman, First Lady urges Ningo Prampram to consider an NPP MP. Trump's one-term presidency has useful lessons for Mahama. Akufo-Addo's industrialization efforts unmatched. NPP says 4 more means more factories, and you're not worth the vote. Amidu replies Mahama over Airbus stupidity attack.
Well, so the Daily Graphic has this big one that says rejected ballots, potential third force. You know that in 2016, rejected ballots, there were more rejected ballots than Dr. Papa Kwesi had. You know, Dr. Papa Kwesi had 106,000, and there were 166,000 rejected ballots. And so there's analysis that shows that in 2008, for instance, if the number of rejected ballots had been valid votes, we probably wouldn't have had a second round, and that would have saved the country some money, and also going through that political tension. So, for
me, it's the sort of thing that we should be setting targets for institutions like NCCE with. Okay, so every election year we can say, look, NCCE, your target is to reduce rejected ballots by this much, but then we give them the money to do it. You know, you can't set people targets and then just let them go and borrow cars to do it. You know, NCC shares a building with the EC, right? Yeah. Currently. And when you go outside the building, you see these wonderful 4x4s, you know, parked over there. And you think to yourself, Charlie, whichever state institution works here is very well equipped. Well, yeah, they are all for the EC. All of them for the EC, not one belongs to the NCC. If they just keep having to borrow cars from here and there, beg, borrow, and steal, really, just to be able to function, you know. but they have an important role in our democracy. You know, these are some of the things that they could really be dealing with at the grassroots level, ensuring that everybody understands how to vote, so we don't get spoiled ballots. What a waste of the democratic process.
Indeed, but could you not also, in terms of the importance of democracy, but also with things like, remember when they were doing the COVID-19 education and all of that, they're really sometimes the only people who are going into the communities and educating them. So why would we not place a premium on that? Because sometimes we act as if there's this great divide between the middle-class Ghanaian and the non-middle-class Ghanaian. So we feel like, oh, these things will affect these. But we know for something like COVID, you know, whichever slum or whatever it starts in, it spreads because one way or another there is some sort of contact. So it's important that we equip. You know, this sounds like an agenda for the NCC, like we're...
well, we ought to have an agenda for the NCC.
This morning,
you know, we keep talking about how education is the key, right? So Winston has more headlines, but let me just say this. We keep saying education is the key. It's not only free SHS that is education.
Yes, indeed.
You know?
Indeed.
Yeah, all right.
Good, but could you ever wondered why, you know, there are a lot of road fatalities during election years?
I've always wondered.
Okay. So election years record higher road fatalities according to road safety statistics. There's too much. There's a lot of activity on the road, and people are always in a hurry to get to you know, one rally or the other. Passing people, you know, and so many drivers throw caution to the wind, if I could put it that way, resulting in lots of accidents. But I'll tell you more about this particular story. And also, on the front page, security agencies charged to enforce COVID-19 protocols. Just make sure you enforce it on your own.
Speaking of roads, there's a concert on Saturday with Walasi's concert, you know, and he brought out this point about roads, and he asked, why are the political parties campaigning with four-wheel drives, with pickups and with V8s? And he asked us the question, is it perhaps because the roads are not good? Because if the roads were good, you wouldn't need to go there with those kinds of cars. So does it not then make sense to fix the roads so that you can save money by not needing those kinds of cars, but also having the roads done so that food is accessible, people, you know, can come to a car, road accidents are reduced. But sometimes, once again, it seems like a misbalance of priorities across board, and this is not targeted at any one political party.
Roads. Look, if we start on roads right now, we went to the Western region, right? The biggest attraction on the trip was Cape 3 Points. That was the thing everybody wanted to go and see. On the first day, we couldn't go because the road was too bad. The bus couldn't make it. All right. The second day, we tried to go another way. That was even worse. Now, this horrible road, by the way, goes through several towns and villages, which the politicians will find in their 4x4s to seek votes.
Yeah, exactly.
But the road is horrific.
Used the Aquadare Road, I'm sure.
In fact, for the first time, that's probably the first one we tried. The second one we went through Agona, and that was useless. Listen, let's be real, okay? What is the point of having Cape 3 Points if we can't get to it?
No point. Okay, let's continue with the headlines, shall we, Winston? Yes. I have the Ghanaian Times. Debt owed contractors. Government pays 800 million Ghana cedis for completed Get Fund projects. GHS, to set up COVID-19 sample collection centers across the country. McDan Hill's government's decision to absorb electricity bills of citizens and industries. On the back page of the Ghanaian Times, UNFPA to end preventable maternal deaths and gender-based violence, and 3-day green economy development meeting underway in Accra.
The New Crusading Guide says Airbus corruption scandal show up for interrogation. Amidu Des John Mahama, and I will make NABCO permanent with 100% salary increment. That's GUM, Christian K. Andrews, in seeking to be president of the Republic. Ghana card to replace NHIS cards on digital platform integration, and Consent Voter Movement Jabs Mahamat tells him to learn from Trump's one-term presidency.
On the front page of the Finder, coronavirus cases rising due to non-wearing of masks. Amidu Mahama lock horns over €5 million Airbus bribery scandal. Ghana card holders can now use it to access NHIS, that's according to Dr. Baumia. School feeding program pays 280 million Ghana cedis arrears, that's according to the national coordinator. And Akufo-Addo's industrialization agenda unmatched in the Fourth Republic, that's according to the NPP.
And the Business and Financial Times says President assures of quick economic recovery and calls for partnership with the private sector. And economy's future looks bright, but we must build more resilience. And post-COVID-19 economic resilience, more government stimulus. will pull banks through.
All right, my last paper is the Daily Guardian. On the back page, CK Akono, coach of the Black Stars, makes 7 additions as Stars host Sudan on Thursday. Russia has dropped their captain. And on the front page, ex-Nana Aid Krapa donates to OT NPP. That Airbus Amadou Dares Mahama story also on the front page. And the other stories, well, we've kind of gone through them already. So
indeed. All right, let's do the online review brought to you by Zenith Bank in your best interest and Goyle. Good energy and that wonderful feeling you get when you step onto the forecourt of a neatly appointed Goyle filling station. It's nothing like it. Got so much space and room. You can maneuver, you can park, you can fill your tank by a smiling attendant who's going to cater to your every need and allow you to use your GH Link card to pay for your fuel or lubricants. That is good energy. You drive off that that forecourt with more than just fuel, more than just lubricants, but happiness, and that's what Goyle is dishing out. Of course, the wonderful thing about using your GH Link card is that it means you can record all of your purchases automatically on your monthly bank statement, so you can track and manage your expenses. Listen, visit one of their over 400 stations across Ghana and experience for yourself good energy. Goyle, Yenara, Yenze. All right, what's online?
Okay, so my joy online, our delusion about defeating COVID-19 got the best of us. That's according to the Ghana Medical Association. Wise and brave Mahama show up, so I interrogate you. And that's Martin Amidu speaking. City Newsroom, declaring Fomena seat vacant shows gaps in Ghana's constitution, and over 38,000 polling stations to be used for the 2020 polls. And Kojo, I have some breaking news for you as well. Trump still hasn't conceded in the U.S. election. But apparently Joe Biden is starting a very aggressive task force to come against Corona because their numbers have gone up. We know they're averaging 120,000 new cases every day. Yeah. So it's pretty critical over there. But Trump is doing his thing and Joe Biden seems to be doing his thing. So.
It's fascinating what's unfolding in the U.S. And you know their system of confirming votes in an election is very complicated. We'll try and explain it a bit later on the show.
I got excited because I totally forgot Pfizer's vaccine for COVID-19.
Yeah.
So far it's had, I think, a 93-95% success rate.
90%
so
success
good
rate.
Stuff, except that it has to be stored. Is it negative 80 negative?
It has to be stored in
very cold.
Very cold.
The figure
condition.
is 80. I can't remember if it's negative 80 or whether it's degrees Fahrenheit or whatever it is. So the question is logistics, moving it and stuff. But they're hoping to give the UK 10 million or so by the end of next year because their cases are quite high. They've ordered another 30 million. So, I mean, it looks good. But yes, negative 103 degrees Fahrenheit, which is negative 75 degrees Celsius. So very, very cold. Very
now,
cold.
in the U.S., they are expecting to have about 50 million of the vaccines delivered to people in the month of December. That is as long as they can get emergency approval to deliver it. And the great thing about it is that, you see, with 90% effectiveness, you don't have to vaccinate everyone.
No, you don't.
Yeah, if you can
vaccinate the vulnerable.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you vaccinate, you can vaccinate fewer people, and it will still have an impact on the population. And you can take your time with the rest, the rest of the people. So it's good that the accuracy rate is so high.
2 vaccines 3 weeks apart, and then you're safe 7 days after.
Absolutely.
Pfizer is going to make crazy money from this.
Well, they're going to give it for free first, and then they're going to make a lot of money.
The population, the world's population.
Pharmaceutical companies. We live to see.
Yeah.
They will help the world.
Of course, what this means is that at some point it will be duplicated. Corporate espionage, dear Charlie. It's alive and well.
A whole other show.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll talk more about this because we've got lots of Corona conversations coming up, and there's a lot to discuss. But right now, though, it's time for the BBC News, brought to you by Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.